Well, we made it with one.
I will button mash for this.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Hey folks, and welcome to another episode of Toques of Hazzard. Today we're back with more Toque tactics and another brief breakdown for you all, and it's going to be on the tactical drones, which I think is pretty good timing considering the fact that we just had our FAQ, and it means that I don't have to redo the gun drone segment, which I'm quite thankful for. So, no further ado, what do we use tactical drones for in the tabletop? Well, realistically, between the three types of drones that are categorized in tactical drones, you can do practically anything required of them by the Tau Empire. And the rest of the halls filled, well, they can be used with the other drones that you can get that aren't captured by tactical drones. In essence, drones can do freaking everything for the Tau, and it is amazing. It's one of my favorite things about the Tau Empire. Now, again, what do they do on the tabletop? Well, the shield drones themselves, they're primarily going to be ablative wounds. I mean, you can use them as resilient objective holders, I guess, but you're kind of wasting their potential of being able to take wounds for infantry and battle suits. Gun drones you can also use as ablative wounds, which have a bit of a bite back as well. They're not as good at taking damage because they just die as soon as they take a wound for someone else, but they get to shoot instead, so that is also quite useful. And then you have your marker drones, and they are armed with a marker light and a target lock. Now, while they don't necessarily mention the target lock, they do put an ability in saying they're allowed to move and shoot, which is, in essence, a target lock. And if you take a look at the little thing next to the marker light, I mean, it is just a small target lock. So, marker light and target lock it is. Now, the positive side for these drones is the fact that they're only 10 points each. Each and every one of these three drones is 10 points. Now, this makes them incredibly effective and efficient for their points value. You've got the shield drone, which has a 4-up invul save and a 5-up feel no pain, being an ablative wound that can then ignore the wound on a 5-up, so 1 in 3 chance of ignoring the wound for only 10 points. If you're throwing that on, say, a Riptide or something, that is an incredible points value you're getting for that Riptide. The gun drones, again, you're getting 4 shots out of 10 points. If you throw a 5-blade there, you're now getting 6 shots at half range. That's an insane amount of firepower out of a small, mobile, and decently resilient unit. Think of this, all drones are basically slightly less armoured Space Marines. They have a 4-up toughness, and they have a 4 armour instead of a 3 armour. They're basically like Scout Marines, each and every drone. It's amazing. And then you've got the Marker Light drone, which is allowed to Marker Light your opponent, and move with, having penalty. It's pretty much the only Tau unit which can point out enemy units and not have a penalty if they move beforehand, which is absolutely amazing. Now, you've got the fact that they're cheap, you've got the fact that they're really good at what they do, and you can have them everywhere. Pretty much every Tau Empire unit can come with drones. This means that you can have your 36 if you're capping out the max amount of drones just in the tactical drone squads themselves, and then you can have pretty much 2 per unit of Fire Warriors, 2 per Crisis Suit, not unit, but per Crisis Suit, 2 per Commander, 2 per Ethereal, 2 per Fireblade, and it can go on for a while. You get access to a lot of drones, and them being as good as they are, you pretty much have no excuse to not have at least 10 of them. At least 10 of them. And if you're going for only 10, they better be shields for your heavy armor. Otherwise, a plethora of gun drones at your front line, I think will do very nicely. Now, of course, the negative side of life, you have the fact that drones really are pretty terrible at shooting, which is kind of funny thinking the fact that they're AI. They do only have a ballistic skill of 5, which means that you are going to have to land marker lights in order to make them useful, if you don't want to use a drone controller. Of course, the drone controller is only 5 points, and giving them an extra 1 ballistic skill for 5 points on a unit that's not even attached to them is quite worth its value, especially if you have more drones, and the more drones you have, the more value for your money you're getting, as the drone controller is an AoE effect instead of just, a single unit targetable effect. And they also do have low leadership. If you're going for squads of large quantities of drones, be wary of the fact that they only have a 6 leadership, so you're probably going to want to keep ethereals around in order to keep them, kicking around and realistically not running away. I mean, it's really frustrating when your drones, the things that are designed and programmed and built from scratch to protect your Tau, run away because they're too busy trying to protect themselves. So keep those ethereals around in order to keep your gun drones and shield drones doing what they're supposed to be doing. Oh, and one last little caveat as well. For those gun drones, they are only able to shoot at the closest enemy unit. So you're also going to have to deal with a bit of creative placement with these gun drones in order to get the best out of them possible. So, tactically speaking, how are we going to use these drones? Well, I recommend using them like squires were used back in the medieval days. You're wanting them there to help your knights, so to help the Tau army. They're going to be there to take wounds, they're going to be there to help point out enemies, and they're going to be there to help deal with chaff. Mainly the gun drones there, just being able to put down such a withering hailstorm of fire. Sure, it's not it has no AB, and it's not the highest strength, but it's not bad either. I mean, it's strength 5, which can deal with infantry quite well. So you can use them to take out all the light units, and then you've got your big heavy weapons that can deal with the rest. So these drones, are really going to be fulfilling all those little niche roles of helping out the rest of your army, quite like squires did back in the day. And synergetically speaking, I do recommend running them, as I mentioned, with an ethereal if you're going to be rocking large numbers in one squad, and a drone controller if you're going to be using any of the shooty variants of the drones, as a 5 ballistic skill for a shooty army, the Tau, is pretty terrible, and we want to do everything we can to bump that up. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to let me know what your tactics are for tactical drones down in the comments section down below. And if you have enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a quick like and a share around. It really does help. I hope you've had a great week and continue to do so, and bye for now. Hey, so I totally forgot to add that the shield drones do also, when they take a wound for another unit, so whether this is an infantry or a battlesuit, they reduce all of that damage, so it could be 6 damage, into just 1 wound. This is for all drones, but the shield drone are making a specific note of it because they have the feel no pain, so they can use 1 feel no pain and negate 6 damage, and that is incredibly effective. And all drones have the ability to deep strike. I mean, you can only really use these on the tactical drones in the platoon, unless they're coming in with other suits that can deep strike. But they can deep strike, so you can use your gun drones in like a second turn assault, and they can drop down 9 inches away and blast away whatever's in front of them. Have your crisis suits or stealth suits moving up, which do have drone controllers that you've added on earlier, and they can really then boost the effectiveness there, and then that way they can take out any light fodder screens. Meanwhile, your crisis suit, for example, that's up there, has got more heavy weaponry to take out the armor that's left around. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. Hope you've had a great day. Bye now.